Mwah. It's me, Kerri Colby from RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 10, and you're getting the fix on page 6.
Hey guys, I'm Brian.
And I'm Jason.
Welcome back to Work Room Weekly, page 6's home base for all things RuPaul's Drag Race. We're, of course, recapping All-Stars 10.
Episode 5.
Oh, this is the spiciest one yet.
We're really getting into the thick of it. I thought last episode was crazy, and they just turned it up 10 more notches.
Oh, this one made me so nervous watching because they're finally using the MVQ points for evil, not good.
Yes. So all the queens return back to the workroom, or our 4 bottom queens. And Nicole from the jump, she's trying to adopt the orange bracket mentality. She's like, I don't want to give them to anyone who, already won the challenge. Let's even it out. And you could tell some people aren't on the same page as her.
And we have a couple alliances. We have the Texas Girls Alliance, and we also have the Brooks Alliance.
Yes.
Nicole Paige Brooks and Mistress Isabelle Brooks are distant third cousins.
Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly. And this was maybe, I think, one of the biggest historic, moments in Drag Race history went down this episode.
It was crazy.
The backstabbery, the shenanigans, instigated by Mistress and Georges.
Yes.
Who were technically bottom queens.
Yeah.
And they did like a Mean Girl 5th grade kind of prank.
And as Nicole said, we're keeping the Brooks in the family, and we're not really related, so here's my point, Georges. I love you, sister. And let me get my badge. Period. And it's given, I'm sorry, I should have been at the top. We should have been at the top, so now we're even. Yes, ma'am, and it's no tea.
Yeah, so there had been this understanding that Nicole, Kerri, Georges, and Mistress would just give the points to each other, and Nicole was going to give hers to Mistress, Kerri was going to give hers to Georges, aligning with these alliances we thought we had. And the minute that Mistress said, hey, why don't you guys give them first, I knew something was afoot.
There was even like a little whisper, like a hand over the mouth, a whisper going on.
Yes, saw that, and that locked it in.
So Mistress and Georges get a participation point, an MVQ point, and then they give one to each other instead of giving it back to Kerri and Nicole.
Yes.
Which was evil. Jason, this was so evil.
I know.
The entire room just immediately froze like, oh, is this a crime?
Yeah.
Is someone going to get, evicted from the house? Like at that point, Lydia even said, like, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how this is all going to shake out.
They're just giggling, like you said, like little kids on the playground.
This is harsh because now basically Nicole Paige Brooks and Kerri have 0 points at the start of the episode, and they really need to win the next 2 challenges in order to move on.
So we go into our maxi challenge this week, which is the Rappin' Roast, meaning that the girls are going to have to read each other to filth over a beat. What are your initial thoughts on this concept?
I was ready for Nick Cannon to pop out of there. This looked like the Wild and Out set.
Yes.
I was like, where's Nick Cannon? Bring out his, 37 kids. Yeah. Like, this is so fun. I thought this was great. This is basically a roast challenge. They get to write some funny lyrics, and I was really curious to see who would do well in it. I knew Mistress would do well.
Yeah.
And Lydia just came off of winning a roast challenge in season 17.
Mistress, I'm honestly surprised you could be on Drag Race, bitch. You're not racing anyone.
So my eyes were on those two.
And we can't forget Georges. She slayed her All-Stars 9 roast.
Angeria is so country.
How country is she?
She eats with a side of mustard greens, bitch.
That's
so
right.
I think the 3 of them were definitely the heavy hitters. And when they're kind of planning their roast out, Lydia goes over to Mistress, the new family ties. And Lydia's kind of looking for mentorship because as the winner of the previous challenge, she gets to assign the order of the roast, which, as we know in previous roasts and challenges, is quite a big power to have.
Sure.
So she goes to Mistress for mentorship, and of course Mistress says, girl, cause chaos. It's time to turn things upside down.
You have to cause mass destruction.
You think I do?
This is how the Brooks do it.
Yeah, but, Lydia is still congenial. She goes over to every girl and kind of asks what they want. Tina says that she wants to go either first or last. Nicole says, I don't care. I'll just do whatever. So she's taking it into consideration. Kerri also is very set on going last.
I don't understand this strategy at all.
Yeah.
And then Lydia says, well, give me one of your points. I'll if you are in the bottom four, you have to give me one of your points next week, and I'll make sure you go last, which is the place you want. And even though she was buddy-buddy with Tina, she let Tina go first. I think going last is like more dangerous if you're a weak
100%. 100%.
So that's a big swing for Kerri.
Yeah.
You know, confidence. I love the confidence. But like, you know, in a comedy lineup, you tend to want to either go first because no one will repeat your material. No one's going to step on your jokes. Or go last because if you're following someone that was weak, you can read the room and come in, end it strong.
Yeah.
And middle, you get kind of buried. So I think Lydia did a nice, simple order with the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you could see that her friendship with Tina was starting to crumble. Even just letting her go first and not last, Tina was like, why'd you make that decision?
So why'd you put me first? Just question.
Tina, your alliance with Lydia is like the bottom of the barrel. I think she's like so grossly offended. And it's like, Tina, you're the only one in this alliance. Like Lydia has fully like signed the adoption papers.
Yes.
No, it's an alliance of one. So it's like, girl, you got your second choice. She didn't screw you over fully. Like, I think it'll be fine.
But then, surprise in the workroom, Chappell Roan comes in.
Do any of you queers have something sexy I can slip into?
Favorite guest judge or guest star moment? Oh my God, it would honestly have to be Chappell Roan walking into the workroom. Girl, you know we love some Chappell. You know the gays love Chappell. So, bitch, seeing Chappell, I was like gagged. I was like, ooh, my favorite Chappell song would definitely have to be Pink Pony Club because, girl, I was one of the OG fans before everybody knew who Miss Chappell was. Bitch, I was there since day one. So catch that.
My favorite guest judge was Chappell Roan because, to be honest, I hadn't heard of her until they gave us the music choices. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cool and queer and gay, yeah. And so young to be so like out like that was really sickening.
Who'd be my favorite? There were a few Colbys that popped up on the season. We have my sister Chappell Roan Colby. How you doing, girl?
And of course, Chappell Roan, honey. That's what the kids are doing. Something like this.
You know, it was kind of cool. Lydia mentioned that she actually kind of knew Chappell beforehand. She opened for her on her Midwest Princess tour. Chappell always brings out local drag queens at every stop of her past tour that she just wrapped. And so Lydia kind of has a little bit of, you know, knowledge of Chappell beforehand, which is kind of cool.
This is so sweet. This is Chappell Roan's like happy place. She wears a lot of like drag aesthetic on stage, you know, and she even said, I feel like I'm a drag queen.
I just feel like I am a drag queen.
That's punk rock as
They embraced her fully. They're like,
100%.
she's a queer girl. This art form is for everyone. You know, the show has had some historic, you know, contestants before. We've had Gottmik was a trans man on the show. Even Maddie Morphosis was a straight cis man on the show.
There's room for everybody.
There's room for everyone on Drag Race.
There's room for everybody.
Yes.
And Chappell Roan got the Drag Race love during this moment, and maybe even been inducted into one of the dynasties.
Yes, well, we know, you know, she's your artist's favorite artist.
Because when Chappell first blew up, she was on Fallon and dropped Sasha Colby's name.
Sasha Colby said, I'm your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen. And I was like, it just hit me through the heart.
Yes.
Which was huge. It's like, this is
Iconic.
NBC, you know, late night, and she is dropping a drag superstar's name. It was very cool of her.
Yes, so she officially became Chappell Colby, I guess. You know, we love to see it in her Tina Burner red wig. I think it's a perfect look for her to make her drag debut on the main stage.
So as they're getting ready for the Maxi Challenge, Kerri shares a really emotional moment, you know, about how her drag family, her chosen family, means more to her than her biological family. Her mom and dad have basically never acknowledged her as a woman.
This whole trans thing with my family is a shit show. It's not for them. I don't think it ever will be.
Really great to kind of see that vulnerable side from Kerri. You know, we always see the beautiful, polished side of her. So to see her, you know, really reveal this very, you know, emotional side of her is.
She says her
really
mom
great.
and dad don't use her proper pronouns, and it's like, how can you look at Kerri Colby in the face and not recognize, you know, how beautiful and, you know, true she is to herself? It's just, it's such a crazy dichotomy to have this super fun show and then, you know, they step out into the real world and it's, you know, hard knocks, you know.
So we make it to the main stage. Chappell Roan is dressed as a full blow-up doll.
This reveal gave me life with the the legs popping up. It was so funny. This is a great look. And I'm like, yes, you are a drag queen now.
Yes, no, 100%. And like you said, when the girls came in for Confession Cube, which if y'all have not watched the Bracket 2 Confession Cube, y'all need to go. The girls did not hold back. The tea was more than spilled. We did ask them about what their thoughts were when they did meet Chappell, and it was really sweet. We actually didn't include this in the cut that we released last week, so make sure to take a look.
What was it like meeting Chappell Roan? Bitch, loved her.
I loved Chappell. I loved and lived.
It was like seeing an old friend.
Icon.
Unlike
high school.
Yeah. Unlike what Plain said, you're valid to me, Chappell. I love you.
I'm a fan now, but I didn't know who she was until she came in the workroom.
Oh my.
No,
she's old.
Older than y'all. Well, you better hope and pray you make it, girl. Some of the girls don't do it.
Oh my God. Well, me and my sister Susie opened for Chappell before, so it was cool to see her like in the context of Drag Race.
Did she remember you? She didn't seem to.
Oh my bitch!
God!
Nicole!
Well, did she come in the room like hey, Nicole? She didn't come in the room. She didn't come in the room like, hey, Lydia.
It wasn't giving.
Did she say hey?
It wasn't giving.
I love that Joella Perry mention. You know I'm a Joella Perry stan.
Yes.
So, you know, if we have Joella Perry and Lydia B. Collins representing our connection to pop culture in the Drag Race world, I'm obsessed.
This is great.
But we went into the main challenge, the rap and roast. Did any people stand out to you specifically verse-wise?
See, I thought Nicole Paige Brooks was robbed in this. I thought she had the best verse. I thought if it were just about the rap roast, she might have been in the top 2.
Yeah.
I thought she killed it, you know. I also thought Mistress was very funny.
Yeah.
How about you? Who was your favorite?
I loved that I could understand Nicole. Like, the biggest critique that a lot of the girls were getting was you were putting too many dang words in the verses. This was an episode where I had to have the subtitles on. I had to watch it a couple times. But there were people like Nicole. I also really liked Georgis's. I thought that, like, her combination of, like, dance moves with the reads I thought were really fun. Kerri, I don't know what the heck we were doing. Michelle even mentioned, girl, that wasn't a roast. Like, she literally was just doing a bilingual rap challenge. Like, it was so confusing. She had said in the workroom that she wasn't going to name drop anyone, which, girl, it's a roast. This isn't Dumois. Like, we don't need an anonymous submission. Like, call the girls out, point them out, say it to their face, because if the jokes weren't landing, she was reading the girls in the workroom better than she did on the stage. And I was like, Kerri, come on, babe. Like, I was a little disappointed in that one.
Yeah, I think she was trying to rise above it, but, you know, the whole when they go low, we go high, that's over.
Yeah, I don't know, but
there were some good lines. I actually really loved Nicole Paige Brooks. You know, her intro just said, it's NPB-FAG,
yes,
which stands for, we learn later, from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
Which I'm also from Atlanta, Georgia. I appreciate that.
Love. I'll have to get you that shirt she was wearing in the workroom where it says from Atlanta, Georgia. You know, you gotta rep it. Gotta rep it.
And there was another good one. Mistress said, Tina Burner's on fire like gonorrhea.
Yeah.
I mean, just simple.
Yeah. No, 100%. And also called out, Kerri likes to refer to herself as Tranos. And she was like, well, if you're Tranos, I'm Iron Man, and just eliminated, which crazy. I would say my favorite was probably Georgis at the end of her verse when she refers to the iconic Alyssa Edwards beast line.
My God.
Just so good.
And,
so
you know,
fun.
she dropped it and Rue was like cry laughing.
Yeah,
at that
100%.
Point. It was great. Yeah.
Yes. So then we hit the runway. The theme for today is Little Shop of Whores.
Whores.
Yes. A little botany moment.
Yes.
Did you have any standouts in this runway?
Well, I was ready for Susie Toot from season 17 to come out with her Little Shop look.
Yeah.
But I actually thought Georgis killed it.
It was stunning.
She put the whores in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
And she kind of looked like Poison Ivy. And we're used to seeing barely anything on her. So there was so much more structure to this, you know, awesome look. And the hair was really cool too.
Yes.
Very comic booky. And
yeah,
I thought she crushed it.
The hair was good. The contacts, the makeup, everything about it. I just really loved. And then I saw Kerri Colby walk out in her Venus flytrap look, which, girl, I was gagged. I was fully gagged. The birth of Venus flytrap. serving body, as always, as we've come to love. My biggest question, and I always have it every season, how is she packing this look? That look was literally to the rafters, girl. You get
Show me the
suitcases.
suitcase.
Girl, show me the suitcase. Show me the plastic tub. I know that didn't fold down, but I don't care how she got it there. She got it there and she turned it out and it looked gorgeous.
What'd you think of Mistress's look? You know, they were praising it, you know, because it was different than what she normally does. She was giving Bowser to me, which I know that was intentional. You know, there was some of the pieces were kind of animatronic looking. They were kind of bouncing and bobbing. I don't know. What'd you think?
Yeah, she was giving cactus. I would say compared to Nicole's cactus look, I definitely was team Mistress on this.
What was the cactus meat?
I don't know, but also
the slowest reveal.
It was weird. Like also the material of like the first layer was kind of wonky walking down.
It was
and
like
then
lycra on lycra.
It was weird. I didn't like it. I will say her mug was stamped. Her like jeweled headpiece, you know, hair was gorgeous.
It was a cool concept, but I just don't think the world knows that cactus have meat.
Yeah.
What's inside of a cactus? It's like, why would you skin a cactus? What's going on? Like, is this like are you making a cactus salad? Or are we in a brunch in Williamsburg?
Yes,
like, What is inside of it? We don't want to know what's inside of a cactus.
No,
this is disturbing.
Keep it on. I'd like to keep it on, please.
Take that thing off of your mouth.
I'd like to keep it on, please.
Like Nicole, like from neck up, looked gorgeous.
I think if she had nailed this look, she might have been in the top 2.
Yeah, but it
That's
was
what I'm
so
saying.
heinous that, sorry, girl, you landed in the middle of the pack. But so the people who did come up on top were Mistress and Gorgeous. The strategy worked.
Oh my God. You know,
Girl.
evil pays off. This was like Succession.
It was.
You're watching, you're like, yeah, screwing over your family and friends gets you the job.
Yep. Sorry about
You win.
it. Yes. So they had to lip sync, obviously, to a Chappell Roan song, Hot to Go. I was kind of hoping for Good Luck, Babe, or Pink Pony Club, something, but mostly because of my fears of I didn't want them to do the godforsaken dance, but I don't think they knew about the HOTTOGO like letters, you know.
They didn't do it.
No, they didn't, and I loved it. I just wanted to see drag performance. I didn't want to see what I saw at Gov Ball in a crowd of 50,000 people.
Well, also
I didn't want it.
Seeing Gorgeous in the pink outfit, I thought Pink Pony Club.
She
It's
was.
gotta be Pink Pony
Oh,
Club.
that's what I
But she
thought.
looked like Chappell, like a backup dancer for Chappell. So, like to me, she had to win.
It was so good. I mean, Mistress, she did a decent job, but I mean, yeah, like you said,
But there was a twist.
There was a twist because Gorgeous won. Gorgeous
For sure.
won. Yes,
Come on.
love. And then Mistress also won, which is fine.
And
like,
they split their extra point down the middle.
And 10K. They both walked away with 5K. They got an All-Stars. What was
this,
that?
King Solomon from the Bible. Like, all these new rules, like split the point in half.
No, literally. It reminded me of the All-Star season where Monet and Trinity both won. And Trinity's first question was, do I have to split the money? And they were like, no, you both get 100K. And she was like, okay, fine. But that was not the case here. The budget was, I guess, a little tight for this episode. But yes, they both tied. I mean, I like a tie when it's well-deserved. I thought personally Gorgeous won this lip sync.
Absolutely.
And, you know, she could have taken it away. But no, that put them at 4.5 points each, followed by Lydia with 3, Tina with 2, and Kerri and Nicole still with diddly squat 0. I guess we'll have to see. It's getting spicy. Mistress is still causing chaos, and I'm living for it. We have one more episode left with this group, and I can't wait to see what chaos they get into next.
Me too.
Yes. All right. Keep it here. Page 6, Workroom Weekly. We'll see you next week.
Make sure you turn up and tune in to All Stars 10 on Paramount Plus.